For instance, we pushed the building fairly close to Rogers Hall. Is that this one over here? It's a little tight for people. I think the residents might see this big building looming next to you, but in doing that, we protect a large grove of large, mature Douglas fir trees and maple on the south side, which also will help shade the building. So there's some things there that we did just from a site standpoint that made some sense. Had the building been moved a little bit in the center of the site, there wouldn't have been a tree left. So that was an easy decision on our part. West side, your soils are very dense and tight, and it's very hard to infiltrate water. It runs off quickly. A lot of these hillsides are punctuated by springs. You could walk down, and they're coming out of the hillside after a little bit of groundwater, so that's coming out of the hill clean. Stormwater and filtering it, you don't want it moving fast. You want it moving slow so it releases its sediment. The main pollutants that come through here are sediments. They go into the rivers, and sometimes those sediments can be toxic if it's coming off an area that maybe is collecting oil, such as a parking lot. Soils that have been around 1,000 years are incredibly biologically active. There's bacteria, there's organisms, there's all these things that consume sediments and oils and things like that. We don't have that yet, but in time, those things become more of their own ecosystem. And year one, it's fairly new and fresh. Year two, there's more earthworms. There's things like that that start growing in it. And then after a few years, it's its own ecosystem in a sense. And then that is a far better filter. You've been in an old growth forest.
Yeah.
It's amazing how dense and active and alive an old growth forest is. The soil is 4 feet deep. It's logs and moss and all that. All that is what makes clean water. That's why our waters are so clean. We have these great forests. Nature is a tangled web, and everything's interconnected. And the more we can understand that and make our buildings and our sites more like that, replicating that, the better off we'll be. Lewis Park's been a great institution for involving students. I work with a lot of universities and colleges. And Lewis Park's been very, very inclusive, and you've gone to the right school for that. Starting with back with when even Howard Hall and some of their projects, they've been very inclusive. Students actually helped us on figuring out what's the hydrology like? What's the environmental economics of harvesting water? Having the curriculum part of that, which you see more and more with some institutions. But I think that's, you should push for that on projects. If you're doing a project, push your administration to do that. They're maybe not like me for this, but you need to. You're college students. This is a chance you can push. You should be pushing the limits. Keep up the ambition. It takes passion to do this. And you have to, whatever you choose to do something you like, because you're going to be doing